Good morning, difference makers out there, chief expansion officers of your own companies. Welcome to our Difference Makers Morning Call, where we embrace all lines of sponsorship within our Enagic family. We're so grateful for this call, started by our dear friend and the biggest difference maker of all, Sam Michaels, for the purpose of encouraging us to believe in ourselves and to build a successful Enagic business. The thoughts, the ideas, the expressions on this call are by third-party, independent Enagic distributors. These are not the views of Enagic USA. So if you need a complete list of rules and compliance matters, please visit our website, enagic.com. Whatever is said pertaining to Kangen water must not be taken as a health or medical claim. No such claims. Kangen water does not treat, diagnose, or cure anything. Our bodies heal themselves when they're given the right tools, and Kangen water simply empowers the immune system, helps the body to remove acid waste, reduce oxidation on the cellular level, and assists the body to do what only God intended it to do, which is to heal itself. So this morning we have our dear friend Sam Michaels on the call. And Sam, are you out there?
Excuse me. I'm here, Jenny. How are you this morning?
I'm wonderful. It's great to hear you, and I know you have a few words of wisdom before you head out the door today. And I'd love to hear what they are, and I'm sure people would on the call.
Well, I'm still in the book, Why Some Positive Thinkers Get Powerful Results by Norman Vincent Peale, Jenny, and I've had 3 people text me that found books by Dr. Peale, and the text back saying it's how it's changing their lives. And a lady come through my office the day I started on this. I have several. If I go to anywhere they sell and use books, Who Moved My Cheese and anything by Dr. Peale and Prayer of Jabez, I always buy all the used ones and give them out. And she come by 3 days later, this glowing. It's amazing to me how many people don't understand the power in reading or have never been introduced to it. And what really blows your mind is go in Goodwill or Salvation Army and find 10 or 20 practically new books somebody may have read or may not, and just give them in. And, to me, I would think everybody ought to have somebody they love or respect or see something in them that they would give them a book instead of just giving it away. But anyway, I'm glad to be here. We're so excited to have Lynn on this morning, Difference Makers. You got just 4 or 5 more minutes to get other people on. Lynn always enlightens us with such a wonderful biblical way that she does it. And I believe she had a big box with a surprise in it for us today. So I'm excited to hear what that is. But let's get started. I'm in the middle of the chapter here, but he says, I imagine this new year is my best year. I affirm enthusiasm, energy, and pleasure in my work. As a positive thinker, I believe I will do 10% better than last year. God will help me reach my goals. That's the story he was telling. But here he says, I wish to repeat here an incident I have often used to demonstrate the power inherent in this principle. Playing golf one day, I sliced the ball into the rough at the fairway's edge. A young fellow raking leaves there politely helped me find my ball. Sometime, Dr. Peale, I would like to talk to you about myself, he said rather hesitantly. When I asked, startled, he said, oh, I don't mean now, just sometime. Sometime seldom comes, I said. Meet me at the 18th hole in about 30 minutes and we will talk. Later, sitting in the shade of a tree, I asked a young fellow's name and said, now, what's on your mind? Oh, I don't know. I just want to get somewhere. Where, I asked. Exactly where do you want to get? He looked bewildered. Oh, I don't know where. I just know I want to get somewhere else from where I am now, but I don't know where. And when do you plan to get where you don't know where you want to get? Confused by these questions and perhaps even a bit irritated, he grumbled, well, how do I know? When? Just sometime. I want to get somewhere sometime. I asked him what he could do best, and he replied that he did nothing very well and that he didn't know what he could do the best. To my question about what he'd like to do, he thought a while and then answered that he didn't know what he particularly like to do. But now here's the situation as I see it. You want to get somewhere, you don't know where, and you do not know when you expect to get there. Besides that, you don't know what you can do the best or what you like to do. Is that about it? He gloomily nodded. He said, yeah, that's it. I'm a total flop. Not at all. You're just not organized or focused. You've got a nice personality, a good head on your shoulders, and a desire for improvement, and that desire is trying to motivate you. I like you and believe in you. I said, that's really powerful. They're difference makers. We know this. Letting somebody know you believe in them, whether it's a waitress or a clerk at a grocery store, just anybody, just a kind word and a smile goes a long way. I suggested that he spend 2 weeks thinking about his future, that he decide definitely upon a goal, and that he write that goal using the fewest possible words. Then he was to compute when he might reasonably expect to reach his goal. I asked him to write these decisions on a card and come back to tell me about it. Promptly 2 weeks later, he showed up quite a different fella, at least in spirit. He was focused and better organized. He knew what he wanted, to be the plant manager of the company where he was working. He explained that the president incompetent was due to retire in 5 years, and his goal was to be offered that position at that time. He developed such a know-how and leadership ability studying during this 5-year period that when job finally opened, he had no competition for it. I might add that now, some years later, he is still in the same position and is indispensable to his employers. He achieved the goal he decided upon following that golf course conference. He is happy and satisfied. So difference makers, I don't know if you need to go to the golf course for a conference, but are you focused? Are you confused? Or do you really know what you want to do? Are you happy with what you're doing? We all know we can do more. A combination of goal setting, positive thinking, visualizing, and believing leads to a successful outcome in most of the problems with which each of us must deal. If you want to have it made, whatever the situation, I suggest putting these 4 creative factors into active practice. Take the virtual matter of life correction when seemingly so many things need a turnaround: attitude, health, personality. Sometimes life may break down at many points under different pressures. Instead of having it made, everything seems to be unmade, sometimes all at once. A perfect example of this is a man I met on a speaking engagement in a Canadian city. Seldom have I encountered a more dynamic, positive, obviously happy man. He just exuded over a meeting of some 2,000 people, and I was terribly impressed by his spirit and attitude. Finally, out of curiosity, I said, "You are terrific. Tell me, how did you get this way?" "It's a long story," he said, "but I'll shorten it to spare you. Everything in my life seemed to break up at once. It all went sour, and later I learned it was because I, as a person, had broken up. I went sour. My concerned wife tried everything to build me up and to improve the distressing circumstances. Finally, she remembered your book, The Power of Positive Thinking, and asked me to read it. The title sort of struck me. When I found it had religion in it, I checked it, for I was off not religion, preachers or the church. But goaded by my wife, to whom I am devoted, I stuck with the book, decided I would bypass the religious stuff and read only the common sense parts. But I ended up by taking it all, including the religious part, hook, line, and sinker. His wife, who was listening to her husband's recital, said, "Just look at that wonderful guy. Everything broke up for him, but through your book, God put it all back together again." "Yes," he said, "but I worked out an idea better than anything in your book. And just to show you how I appreciate what you did for me, I will let you use this terrific idea in your next book. So here it is." One day he said, the thought came to me that with God's help, I was greater than anything that could happen to me. This resulted in an affirmation I use every day. I pull myself up to full height and say, "I deny the power of the adverse." Note, I didn't say I deny the adverse, but the power of the adverse. You have come about as near as anyone I know to having it made, I said, because you have obviously become the master of your circumstances. I want to know when I became master. He replied, well, I'll tell you, it was in the religious part of your book, which, like a dope, I wanted to bypass. I certainly am no saint, but I am now a believer. To that extent, I do believe I am on the way to have it made, though I still have a long way to go. Let's return to those 4 basic factors I referred to earlier that are involved in successful outcomes: goal setting, positive thinking, visualizing, and believing. With that combination, almost any adverse situation can be worked out for the best. One big problem relates to health. Judging from the mail we receive in our office, which runs into thousands, I'd say health is a problem number 1 in this country. Money or job problems rank second, marital problems third. Overcoming a health problem and enjoying physical well-being are the top blessings of the life. Good health is profoundly precious. Having it made in health is a top achievement, one that is desired by everyone. At Difference Makers, we've got the most awesome product out there to simply help people have better health. It's not all they need. It goes further than anything I know. A combination of overindulgence in alcohol and food, incessant smoking, and high tension had undermined this once rugged health of a friend. I will call him Joe. He said I may use his story if I didn't use his real name. Joe had become obese and developed high blood pressure. He puffed up stairways, red in the face. His doctor finally let him have it straight. Joe could recover his health if he got on top of his drinking, smoking, and eating and tension. But the doctor concluded, I don't know whether you have what it takes to reconstruct a healthy lifestyle or not. This doctor knew that his last remark would anger Joe because he is one of those men who think they can do just about anything on their own. So he reacted by bringing the drinking, smoking, and tension under pretty good control pretty quick. But the problem proved his Waterloo. He just couldn't push back from the table. He went on to diet after diet, but none of them worked. The reason was simple. He didn't really work at any of them. He had to compensate for giving up the liquor and cigarettes, didn't he? So he rationalized his excessive food intake. The doctor said positive thinking and spiritual treatments are what you need. And Joe, you've got to take off at least 50 pounds. If you do that, added to what you've already done, I'm sure your blood pressure will be right and you'll live much longer. I might explain that the doctor and Joe and I are mutual friends, which is perhaps why the doctor sent Joe to see me. When Joe came in to see me, he had a negative outlook. I just can't change my eating habits. There is no way I can shed 50 pounds. Joe complained to me. Oh, yes, you can. I know you can. I was told to take off 35 pounds, and I felt like you that I couldn't do it. But I changed my mental attitude and took a positive approach. The pounds rolled off, the blood pressure went down, and I have never been healthier. Just like you're going to be, Joe. So are you ready to start? What choice have I got with Doc and you ganged up against me, Joe grumbled. Not against you, for you, I said. When you're encouraging friends, they think you're against them or for them, Difference Makers. Now, Joe, here's what I'm going to help you do. Set a weight goal, practice positive thinking, visualize the results, and have lots of faith. Peele is really big and one of the masters of visualization. A lot of his books get into that. We've subtract 50 from your weight of 200 to get the goal of a healthy 150. Well, I haven't weighed that since college. So what, I said, we're going back to streamline you. He made a kindly smiling face. Next, we added the timing. When was he to achieve this goal? We set a date 9 months away. Then we developed a new image of him, a slim 160 pounds, at least leaving 40 pounds. He was to think of himself with a midsection bulge gone, clothes hanging beautifully loose on his huge, slender, 6 foot 1 inch body, and best of all, no guilt feelings for overeating and part of his image. The last thing we discussed was his need to reread The Power of Positive Thinking. He groaned at this one and said, "You've got to believe he knows that you can do this, and you will need another dose of The Power of Positive Thinking." Joe got into the spirit of the slenderizing process. He did reach his goal. "I've got it made weight-wise," he said one day when we were eating lunch, clear soup, cottage cheese, and salad. "I've got it made thanks to Doc and you," he added, to my surprise. The blessed Lord Jesus, he flushed a bit self-consciously at the last remark, because he was never one to talk religion, but a bit belligerent. He said, "I've been praying all the way to 150 pounds. So name your goal and apply the positive principles. The day will come when you can thankfully say, 'I've got it made,' and go for still another goal. You will be helped toward your goals by reading the next chapters. Belief power gets powerful results." So whatever your goals are, difference makers, set them and believe in them and go for them. Okay, Diddy, thanks for being here today, and praying Wade has a safe trip, and let's bring Lynn out and get started.
That sounds great, Sam. Wow, you brought up such amazing things, and, goal setting, positive thinking, visualization, and I think believing is probably the most important aspect of those four, and we really need people who believe in us before we believe in ourselves, like you said. And that book was a game changer in my life. I've read that book so many times. Thank you for bringing it up again. And I just think that if there's somebody on the call that doesn't feel like they have a partner, an accountability partner, a mentor, a co-believer, I urge you to find somebody on the call that would be willing to be a partner with you in this, because the people who, they're just people who will believe in us, support us, push us, okay, to be the best version of ourselves. And that's what we're here on earth to do, is to be the best version of ourselves. And thank you so much, Sam, for being the best version of yourself for us on this call every day. We're so grateful. And now we get the privilege of introducing our guest speaker today. I think things are probably looking good on the farm today, Miss Lynn, and we are so happy to have you because you always inspire us and bring us to higher levels of ourselves. So I can't wait to hear what you've got for us today, wrapped up in that present with the bow on top. Are you ready to share with us today, Lynn?
I am. Good morning. How you doing today?
Great. Glad to have you here.
Before I get going, I want to just say good morning to you and be sure we have a good sound check. I got a powerful message for you guys today, so I don't want to be having a bad, sound quality. So am I sounding okay to you?
You sound perfect.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, good morning, difference makers. It's so good to be with you guys again today. It's always such an honor for me to be on this side of the call. I have to pinch myself every month. It's such a blessing to me, I do have a special gift for you that Sam mentioned before he sounded off, and I'll be announcing that at the end of my message today, so hang in there with me. I was smiling big time when I was hearing the comments this morning from Sam and, of course, from you, Jenny, because it's always funny how things thread together. God just works in amazing ways. But that surprise you don't want to miss, and I'm eager to partner with you on that. A lot has happened since our last time together. We're already implementing plans for our new and improved barn meeting place, right? We're really excited about what's on the horizon, and we've actually been inspired, God, to confirm that we're going to have a prayer room there. I'm really charged up. Romy's charged up. A lot of people charged up. Can't wait to see that happen. Some of you know that my oldest sister passed away since I was with you last time, and I just want to thank all of you who sent condolences, and thank you, all of you who sent beautiful cards my way. I was just so moved by that. It was incredibly thoughtful, and your prayers are so appreciated by my family. Then I launched a Bible study here at my home on Mondays. We've been studying, the topic is strength and weakness, not power and weakness, but our strength and weakness, and how we gain our strength through our weakness. It's been pretty powerful, so far. And I think that anytime we step up and offer a message, we're the ones that get blessed more than anybody, right? So it's really helping me. There's no doubt about it. But I also see some lives just in 2 weeks that are changing as a result. That's an awesome thing. In fact, it's always the goal. I set out to do just a 2-week study, kind of a let's get a shot in the arm before the end of the year, kind of get myself in the game again. I've had to confess that I served locally, teaching Bible studies, Sunday school, things like that for a very long time. And then I, went outside of my hometown, if you will. So I feel strongly that I need to get busy serving near my home base as well. And after all, we got to take care of our own before we go out to the world, right? So in any case, the 2 weeks has been a source of strength and growth for a few of these folks. And they asked me if I would carry on after that, the end of the 2 weeks, right? And I'm going to continue. There's no doubt about it, because I know that's something that I need to be doing. But whether or not I continue next Monday is something that I'm thinking about and praying about, and I think they need to do the same thing, right? And I'm not the only one that needs to think about it. The others need to think about it too. In fact, when I make a commitment to someone or to something to serve, especially in this way, I look for commitments right back, right? Now, I'm not going to hold them hostage if they get sick or, there's a blizzard in Virginia or something. Of course, they don't have to come to class, right? But life gets in the way. And before you know it, you've got one thing pulling at you this way and another thing pulling at you that way. And it doesn't take much for people to surrender their commitments for things that get in the way, right, of life if they aren't careful. So the message today was inspired by this whole idea of tugging and pulling us and how we look at commitment. And so it's entitled, Life is Like a Game of Tug-of-War. Now, I'm assuming that you played Tug-of-War. At least you've observed the game of Tug-of-War in your lifetime. Of course, the whole concept is that there are two sides, right, two teams, if you will, tugging, and there's a center line, and each side attempts to pull the other side over that line. It's a game of strength. It's a game of endurance. Even though sometimes it's a short game, if the balance isn't, at least it's close to being equal, right? The idea is that there will be an equal number of players, that there will be kind of equally, in weight and strength and that sort of thing. And I believe that the official rule of that game is that there would be 8 on each side. But it's not the numbers that count as much as the strength of the players on each side. There is that line in the middle. And if you want to win, then the goal is to use your weight and your strength to pull across that line. You know what? We're all in a perpetual game of tug-of-war, every single one of us in every area of life. Sometimes we're using our strength in our relationships, and sometimes we're even flexing our muscles a little bit as we try to get the other person to come over to our side. And sometimes with our children, they start flexing their muscles in their teenage years, and they attempt to get us on their side, right? And sometimes we have a tug-of-war going on within ourselves, within our own spirit, within our own faith, if you will, and we hit turmoil, and we'll go back and forth, like the waves of the sea until we find our grip again. And we sure find ourselves in a tug-of-war as we set out to succeed. Sometimes we're tugging, with other people as we attempt to get them to see what we see. We want them to get it, we're pulling on them. But mostly we're a tug-of-war with ourselves. We go this way, we go that way. Some are fighting against their own nature and their tendency to give up. And some are fighting against their nature to be complacent, to stop trying and caring, right? And if we don't keep our eye on that center line, the other side can easily win. If you're like most people, you struggle within yourself. That's just not something that's unique to you. You can kick yourself from here to China over not following up or not doing something that you should be doing, or for dropping the ball, or for not persevering, for letting life get in the way. And that's when you let up on that rope, and the very things that you need to fight against cross over the line, and the other side wins. Life is like that, and it's always going to be like that. On one side is you, your goals, your dreams, your future, and on the other side are all those things you battle, those things that tug and pull and wear you out if you're not careful. So in that tug-of-war, building your strength is key. Who wants to play a perpetual game of tug-of-war and never win, right? What fun would that be? It'd wear you out real quick. Forever pulling and never building strength to win. It's when we keep that in mind that we're all in a game of tug-of-war, that we strengthen ourselves into a place where we can become stronger and we never give up. Paul from the Bible, many of you know who I'm talking about. Some of you may not know. He had a miraculous journey. He persecuted Christians until God got his attention. He actually struck him blind and set him straight, right? But even Paul said, I don't understand what I do. For what I want to do, I do not do. But the things that I hate, I do. It's a struggle for all of us, right? Understanding that we're all in this together, understanding that you're not the only one. That's the very beginning of being a tug-of-war champion. And there's another part to it, and that's where strategy comes in. No battle, no war, no tug-of-war has ever been won without a little bit of strategy. Gripping the rope And holding on tight is a great gesture, but it's not enough if you want to win a game. You can't win a game of tug-of-war just by holding on tight. You'll just be dragged around. In fact, you're going to get worn out, you'll get blisters, and you'll quit trying early on because of it. You'll end up letting the rope slip right through your hands. Unfortunately, that's the way a lot of people are playing their tug-of-war in life. They don't understand what it takes to hold on tight, to fight, and they get worn out, and their efforts are lame because of it. You won't have the strength just by gripping to accomplish your goal. You can't even hold on and win by using your whole upper body in tug-of-war, no matter how much you flex your muscles, no matter how if you have a six-pack or not. You'll stay in the game a little bit longer by using your upper body. At least you'll stay in longer than you will just by gripping the rope, but you won't have the strength to pull those things or those people or whatever it is across the line for victory just by using your arms. If you want to win that game, then you need to dig your heels in and use your legs. This is part of your body working together with your grip and your upper body to tug your way into victory. You know, I talk about the journey of Job a lot. I studied that book in the Bible for 2.5 years. It was an amazing journey for me, and I love it. I just love the book of Job. But, you know, one of my favorite parts about that is when God finally spoke to Job, and he said to him, brace yourself like a man. I'm going to question you, and you're going to answer me. I love the humanity side of that. Your God would say, brace yourself like a man. And that's what I think about when I think of the tug-of-war. Man or woman, we need to dig our heels in and brace ourselves and hold on tight. The tug-of-war game of life can wear you out if you don't build your strength and brace yourself. When you build your strength, it's easier to win. And in time, those things that used to just, gain a little leverage on the other side of that rope, they lose their strength. And you become strong enough to pull your way to victory faster and faster each time you find yourself there. With tug-of-war and with life, it's not intended to be played all by yourself. You don't have to pull on that rope by yourself, and you don't have to rely just on your own strength to get there. In a game of tug-of-war, you'll always put your strongest person up front because they'll be leading the way to victory. Unfortunately, some people don't understand that strategy, and they try to put their strongest one way back in the back, thinking that the strongest one is going to be able to pull everybody else, but it doesn't work that way. You win by putting the strongest one up front, and you know what? The same is true for life. When we put God at the front of that tug-of-war line, he's got the strength and the stamina and everything else to see us to victory, and he never gets tired of that tug. He'll help us dig our heels in, and when we're feeling worn out, he never is. Strategically speaking, he's our secret weapon, right? When we find ourselves in the tug-of-war place in life, sometimes we need to step back and loosen our grip just a little bit and put him up front position and watch him win. It's victory time every time. Never forget that though he's the strong one, he's the one up front, you still got to do your part. It's never okay just to sit back and expect God to fix everything in life. He expects you to be proactive while you're here. Once you have him in position, then you work on your strength. Then you pick the rest of the team to help you play that game. When you play the game of tug-of-war, it's never going to be a perfect lineup. I'm sure you can probably think back on times you played it, and it's kind of comical to put little kids and the elderly all in the same lineup, right? Some of your team will be weak, and some of your team will be strong. Some will be competitive, fighting spirits, and some are just along for the ride. Some are heavyweight champions, and some are featherweights. But you pick the ones that you want to help you find your way to victory. You pick the right team. You'll all be working together for the common goal, and so it is with life. Whether it's your relationships or within your church or your Christian life or in this business, you need to pick the ones that will stand firmly behind you to help you find your way to victory. Some of the ones you picked will be keepers, and they'll stay with you until the bitter end. Nothing would ever drag them away. They will never lighten up their grip because they love you and they're on that same journey. And some of them will whine about the journey, and before you turn around twice, they dropped out of the game. And some of them need to work on their own strength, and they'll watch you from behind and learn from you, and they'll never quit trying because of it. You inspire them. All of them working together for the goal, that tug-of-war game of life. The place where we all struggle, the place that can make us weary if we don't understand what it takes to be strong and to win. And if we don't have the right one front and center, and if we don't pick the right team to join us in the help in that battle of tug-of-war, it's sad to see so many people in this game of tug-of-war, and they refuse to try. You can put the rope in their hand and you can place them in the right position. You can tell them what it looks like to dig their heels in. But when they feel just a little bit of tug on the other side, they stop gripping and their hopes and their dreams slip right through their hands because of it. There are lots of things that we tug against. Sometimes it's just distractions in life, and when we aren't committed enough to win the game of tug-of-war, we often loosen our grip on our commitments and we forget all about the strategy it takes to win. That's kind of the message that I'm driving home or trying to drive home to the people with the Bible study. I'm in. Are you in? I'm going to be here with this tug-of-war game and I'm going to dig my heels in, but are you going to loosen your grip and loosen your grip on commitments as a result? Sometimes we're tugging against a broken relationship, and it might be time, to put that strongest one up front and center and stop working your own strength as you try to tug this way and that way to be heard. Sometimes, lots of times, that war is 100% spiritual, and you find yourself pulling and working against the flow and facing adversity, and when that happens, you just need a refresher course in the strategy. It's that lineup that matters, putting the strongest one out front with confidence that you're going to win because he's there. Sometimes the tug-of-war is over what it takes to be successful, and you're gripping the rope and get worn out really fast. You're holding on with just your hands, and maybe some of you have stepped up and you're holding on with your upper body, but you have not learned to dig your heels in and to give all your strength to the one that's out front. So many people have quit. And they've moved on, thinking that the grass is greener someplace else, and there's got to be something else I could do to make more money or to be more successful. But it's never the something else. You'll never, you'll forever be pulling on that rope if you don't figure out that you're already on the right rope. You just got to learn how to pull it, right? You're tugging against yourself instead. And it's time to regroup and to come to your own senses, right? Remember, sometimes it's best just to let go of that rope. Sometimes it's best to get rid of what's on the other side. Just let it tumble and fall and quit fighting it so hard and begin again as a champion this time, as a warrior. The ultimate winner of tug-of-war is just waiting for you to work on your own strength, to learn how to dig your heels in there and hold on tight, and to get the lineup straight in your life so that you have people behind you on this journey. The strongest one is put in the front, and the ones that will help you win the game lined up perfectly and ready to help, ready to pull, right? So you don't just get pushed through this life. Sometimes it's a matter of getting on the right team and keep pulling. So do you feel like you're on a perpetual tug-of-war? And are you winning? You can win, not just every once in a while, but every single time in everything of life, if you just consider that it's like a game of tug-of-war. Remember what it looks like and never lose sight of that strategy. Never, forever being committed to build your strength. Guys, I often tell people, you don't get old and quit doing things. You quit and you get old. We don't quit this journey of life until we draw our last breath. And every day that we live, we have to be improving ourselves and strengthening ourselves for this journey. And it's never too late for us to serve. We do that by being on these calls and by having these people in our lives and by reading good and positive things, by working on ourselves, forever being committed to build our own strength. You can do that in your home, in every relationship you have. You can do that in your heart, and you can absolutely, positively do that for this business. So that's it for the basic message this morning. I do want to see if we have any questions or comments on the message before I go on to announce the gift. And I'm hoping that we're going to partner on these things. So that's it for me, Jenny.
Wow, Lynn. I was feverishly writing notes, and the whole time I was writing notes, I saw this visual in my mind of this huge tug of war in the world. And like on one side, you've got all the skinny, puny people, like they just look like they will never win anything. On the other side, you've got all the Goliath types, the big Goliath types. And on the puny side, you have God right there with a big LOL coming out of his mouth. And it would be like, it's just such a cool visual because it's just like he's got the last laugh. And it's interesting because today I just posted something on Facebook that just said something like, if you try to do things in your own, with your unbelief, they tend to blow up in your face.
Yes.
And isn't that what
Every
happens?
single
Like,
time.
we think we want to control everything. We want to manipulate how the outcome is. I mean, I've been guilty of that in my life where I've tried to do something so I can get this daughter to do something with that daughter, those types of things. No, God just goes, no, dear. This is how it's going to go. This is the way it's going to go down. So it's just so amazing what you bring up. And your inspiration is huge on this call and in the world. And we're really so grateful for that, like that strength that you bring to us, that pointing us in the right direction. Like some people, they're going around and around and around the mountain, around and around, repeating the same thing and forgetting to look north. So thank you.
Oh, my.
I know we've got a couple people on the line that have some questions or comments for you.
Okay.
So you ready?
I'm ready for them, yeah. Are they ready for me? That's the question.
So Wade knows. So Wade knows people's names on the call. So I'm just going to say this person shows up as Joseph Sullivan in Cleveland, Ohio. So I'm going to unmute your line. And whoops, wait a minute. I'm doing it. Wait a minute.
Good morning.
Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, Difference Makers. It's Deb in Ohio.
Oh,
morning.
Hi, Deb.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. You have blessed me so, both of you, with your and Sam's words today. What jumped in my mind when you talked about the pulling on the rope, I saw my grandson, who's 6 years old, and I saw my mother, who I'm studying elder care with so that I can do this with skill, love on her better. And it's always this tug going on in our lives, and you really brung that out in a really strong, illuminated way, and I thank you for that. And it also made me think of my favorite scripture, Joshua 1:8, which talks about meditate day and night, and your way should be successful. And a meditation has gone to a whole another level since Difference Makers. And every morning I'm meditating with Difference Makers. My ears are open. I'm listening intensely. I'm working. I'm multitasking. I'm at work, but I'm taking notes. I've got a rag in one hand cleaning with gloves, and I got a pen in the other hand taking notes.
That's awesome.
Wow, what you talked about was just the power of positive thinking, naming your goals. Sam talked about that a little earlier. And then Jenny, it's just so powerful. Getting that lineup together, focusing in on that. That's my meditation for today, and I'm so thankful for that. Thank you.
Well, you just blessed me, and I did want to say that, in fact, I was sharing, I think, with the group yesterday in the Bible study that, when Jesus taught, he spoke in parables, and he painted pictures. He gave us analogies and parables so that message would just be driven home. And that's always the goal, right? To give you something that this word picture, and I just hope and pray that as you're going through life and you're struggling and you're tugging, that you remember what it looks like in a game of tug-of-war. He's got to be, the strong one's got to be up front. And you got to have the right ones behind you in the game, right? And so I just hope that has painted a picture in your mind that will go on forever.
It has, and then the life force, like you said, Jesus, God has to be the lead of all of this, and that's that life force, like the water. It's like going through a day without a life force, without the living water, the Kangen water, the live water.
Right. That's right.
It's impossible. It's not a great day unless you have that good mix together, coming
together.
You got it.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sis.
Thank you. Be blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deb. That's so awesome. I'm just thinking about life, like, if you could stand and breathe and be that feeling of what it would be like with that life force inside of you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Like I said that to my 6-year-old grandson. I just said to him the other day, I told him about David and Goliath, blah, blah, blah. And I said, now you stand and you start breathing like you are David, who's inspired and strengthened by God. And, you could not knock down Goliath but by yourself, right? He goes, yeah, right, Mimi. And then I said, now you stand and breathe and feel that energy coming in and know that God can help you. And he's just like, his whole face changed. It's just such a phenomenal thing. But thank you for inspiring us. So that's Joshua 1:8, you said, right?
Yes. Meditate day and night, and your way shall be successful.
And that is so great in this day and age where there's so much noise around us. There's so many things happening. We're constantly distracted. It's the phone, it's the Facebook, it's text messaging. We could start to meditate and then we go, oh, got to answer this, whatever. And I think that's you hit the nail on the head with that. So thanks again. And
thank you, because meditation for me, it's not a quiet with a candle burning, or I'm not quoting scriptures, but I'm listening intensely to Sam, to Wade, to the guest speaker, to what people are saying and saying, God, where do I fit in this? What part am I supposed to grab hold to? And that's my meditation every day, and I'm so thankful for this Monday through Friday 9 to 10 call that I slip and get on at work. I love it.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great point. You can meditate while you're doing other things and life is around you, but you're so into what God is telling you to do that you're in a completely meditative state. All right, so we have Michael Johnson. 1 second, Michael. I'm going to bring you on. Hi, Michael. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Jenny. Morning, Miss Lynn. It's great to hear your voice again. And you always hit the nail on the head. For me, it's just your inspiration is always something that gives me something to not only look forward to, but something where I can actually meditate on my own. Am I doing enough? Am I looking in the right direction? Am I asking for the right things and really paying attention to what God wants me to do rather than, like Jenny said earlier, what I want to do? Because one of the things I tell people all the time is if you ever want to hear God have a really great belly laugh, just tell him what your plans are. Because his may be totally different than what yours are. And it's trying to listen to that little voice and follow that direction so that we can be the best that he wants us to be, to do the things he's got for us to do. So thank you for the inspiration that you always give us.
You're welcome. And stop playing Tug-of-War, right? Do what he wants and stop playing Tug-of-War. That's right.
Exactly. Pay attention, pay attention. And it's like your inspiration when you talk and the things that you say, when we were at the farm and all that. It's just, your clarity. I really love the clarity with which you can see it. Sometimes I don't see it the way that I wish I could see it. And then there's other times when the little voice is just there saying, giving you direction, and you do pay attention, and it's amazing the change and the difference it gives to each and every one of us when we do that. So Thank you again for always being there and always having inspiration. So
thank you for your words of encouragement. Thank you, Michael.
Wonderful.
Anybody else out there, Jenny?
Lynn, there is one more person. I just want to tell you that the event that you have at the farm, do you know that each year that you've had it, I've had a sister's child's wedding that weekend. But this year coming up, there's nobody getting married yet, and I am going to be at the farm. And I didn't not go because I didn't want to. I really wanted to be there, but I'd have to divide my body into 2 pieces, and that wouldn't have been a good scene.
That's probably not a good idea.
This year I want to be there. No. We have
I look
another
forward
caller.
to it.
Oh, yeah, I'm so excited about that. I'll bring a bunch of people, too. We have one more caller, and it's from a cell phone in New York, 917-572-1181. If that's you, come on board.
Hello. God bless.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Too blessed to be stressed. Oh, I love your call this morning. We come in each other's lives for different reasons, for different seasons, and I got to tell you that was personal because I went to sleep with that on audio last night, and I woke up so energized, and then to hear Sam and yourself talking about this, I just feel so blessed to be part of an organization and a family as powerful as this, and I truly love you guys more than you know. I mean, I really appreciate all this information, and it's inspiring privately and business-wise. So I want to commend you, and I listen to you all the time and record your calls, and I let my friends listen to it, and we've all been inspired, and God bless you and your family, and continue to do good work.
Wow, thank you. You just blessed me big time, right? I'm just about my father's business. And so, it just really encourages me to hear that. Thank you for blessing me today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And you
Quite
know what?
welcome.
You
Thank
didn't say your name, and I'm so sorry. I don't know your
That's
name.
okay. This is Big Mike from New York.
Mike. Okay.
Yeah. How you doing? I listen to you guys every day, and I just listen with education, and I just love you guys. I play you in my car, my work. I just enjoy you guys so much. So I just wanted to come out and tell you how much I enjoy you guys and appreciate you.
Wow. See, Lynn, you never know how many people you're affecting in the whole world. Thank you so much. We have one more person on the line, and it comes up as DeBarrios in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. If that's you.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I'm in Winston. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Miss Lynn, I'm overwhelmed and full of fire right now. I've been praying for answers and direction, and I have to say that Proverbs 15:23 is full of positive words that remind us to help others, that Nehemiah did not just give orders, but he helped with the work. Isaiah 35:3 and 4 says, strengthen the weak hands and make the knees of the wobbly that are shaking strong, the ones anxious at heart. Be strong, do not be afraid. I am no longer afraid. God has taken the wheel, and Miss Lynn, I would love to have your number to go into further conversation with you, knowing the directions that you have guided. I've got my first water event this Thursday, Thirsty Thursday, and scared to death of it, but I'm jumping in. And I just thank you. Deb in Ohio, you're amazing. You're always in my prayers. Big Mike, nice to hear from you. I'm originally from New York. Miss Lynn, you are amazing. You have strengthened me, encouraged me, and helped me to stay committed and focused in this tug of war.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm so blessed to hear that. I'm proud of you. You got your event coming up. Just dig your heels in, keep tugging. And, we always win, right? When we got the strong one out front. So I'm just going to be praying for you. That's awesome. I don't want to lose callers here. So if that's it, I want to go into a little bit of testimonial about Tug of War. Is that it for us now, Jenny?
We just have Juanita that wants to, I guess, say hi, and then we can't wait to hear the rest.
Okay.
Juanita will be the
Juanita.
final caller.
Good morning, Jenny and Lynn. Wow, thank you so much. What a great inspirational call as always, Lynn. When I think about Tug of Wars, I think, as a child, I was raised in San Diego, and I can feel the sand, the warm sand between my toes, as our huge family, hundreds of cousins and aunts and uncles, and would line up on the beach with the Tug of War. And I was kind of like the runt. I was the little one who was almost like always picked last. But that was then, and now is now. And I want to thank you so much for the encouragement that you've given to me and others on our prayer call, because I thought of that as well. When we were having somewhat of a spiritual tug of war, you encouraged us to not give up and to increase our platform. And we've grown from a group of 2 or 3 people to a mighty force of prayer warriors. This morning we were able to, from our Zoom prayer call, thank you, Larry and Kathy, too, for promoting Zoom. And Lynn, you for helping Michael and I set that foundation for God. And this morning we were able to have a remarkable prayer call with a testimony from a gentleman who we hadn't heard from since we began the call. He had our old prayer number, and he had gone through mighty recovery. And I just stressed, sometimes even though we don't name the names of everyone, God knows their need. And as we pray, we saw miraculous things happen to this gentleman 6 months ago, where he was unable to walk and talk, to the point that he gave his testimony this morning. So thank you for encouraging us, and my heart goes out to you for your loss of your older sister. I did not know that, so my prayers to you and your family. But I know you know the truth, and I know you know the end of the book, and that's how it's going to end. So thank you, sister.
Well, Well, thank you. Thank you for all your words of encouragement. I just love to hear, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story, right? Because, guys, we're not in this life to just hoard what we have. We're in this life to share what we have in every way. And we do have to, once in a while, let go of our rope and start tugging with somebody else to get them across that line to victory, and or maybe just to remind them that the lineup's not quite right. Got to get the strong one out front, right? But everyone, even though that you were the runt, right, you were important in that tug-of-war game. Everybody's important. So thank you for that this morning. You know, sometimes people look out, I guess, at my life. I don't stop. I don't quit. It's a very, very rare thing in my life that I've ever said, I'm letting go of this rope and let it fall where it falls. I just, I have that fighting spirit. I don't know if maybe it's because of how I grew up, you know, school of hard knocks. I don't know what it is, but, you know, I keep going, and I'm certainly not perfect. My life isn't perfect. I have a lot of adversity that goes on in my life because I'm a bold warrior for God. But, you know, I've been in this tug of war, and there's a tug of war that I finally dug my feet in the ground. I braced myself like a woman, right? And I just pulled until I saw my way to victory. And that tug of war has been over something that I've talked about for a long time to you guys. That tug of war has been over the book, Walking on Water. And I'm proud to say, thank you, Jesus, that it's now on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle. But I'm not doing this as a book announcement. What I want to do is encourage you guys to partner with me. You know, I put the digital form on Amazon. The paperback is coming out. I don't want you to wait for the paperback. The digital format is now up for 99 cents. Now, 99 cents, guys, I don't make any money. I'm not doing this to make money. This is a message of hope. It's a little bit of snapshot of my life and the adversity that I faced, how I overcame it, why I overcame it, and it's a message that I think will actually not just inspire believers. I'm believing that it's going to inspire people to their faith. So I put it at 99 cents. I don't make money, and I don't mean that I don't make much money. When you put it at 99 cents on Amazon, you make no money. And so I don't care about the money. What I want to encourage you to do is come alongside me. I want everybody on this call to download that book. And not only that, I want you to maybe think about spreading the word with me. You have to know family members, friends, neighbors, people who you know have suffered or they are currently suffering, and they need a message of hope. And Walking on Water, I pray, will give that to them. So perhaps you get to download your own copy. Maybe you're willing to say, you know what, I'll spend $5 and send it to 5 people as gifts so they can read. Maybe you'll get it for your team. Maybe there's just some people that, you know, you don't even know very well, but you think it would inspire them. We need to quit hiding and hoarding what we have. And I've put this out there by God. You know, you may not know the story, but this was not the book I was writing. You know, I've got like a 75% complete manuscript of a whole different book. But God told me to write this, and I went into the adversity, and sometimes I lost my way, and I lost my grip on that rope until I finally dug it in and said, I know this is what God wants, and it needs to get out there. So it's out there. And I'm praying that you'll come alongside me and that you'll pray over the reading of it. I pray that you'll overlook any flaws in it. You'll just look at my heart in it, and that you'll be willing to pay it forward, guys. Okay? So pray over it with me, Walking on Water. If you can find it on Amazon, you just go Walking on Water, Lynn Gardner, and it'll pop up. You'll see it. It's a story of, my whole life basically built on water, from adversity to the living water to the water business. So I think you'll be blessed by it as well. And I pray that you come alongside me so we can get it out to as many people as we can. Some hope. There is hope. We have a future of hope. And we can there's never an excuse to give up. And sometimes people need to be reminded of that. So that's my prayer, that through him I put out words, Walking on Water, that will bless the masses. So I pray that you join me in that.
Wow, Lynn, this is such an exciting announcement. Have you done so you haven't even posted it like on Facebook yet, that we could share your announcement?
Today, I'm giving it to you guys today. Today, it's my gift to you. And today, that's right, knocked it down to the 99 cents. So I pray there's nobody on this call that doesn't have 99 cents. I pray everybody can get it. and I'm just praying that you're inspired to pay it forward. No, it's just today. Those of you, there are a couple people out there that actually believed in me and believed in this book, and they actually pre-purchased the hard copy. You're going to get your copy, trust me. And we'll have copies at events, and all these silly people that say they want me to sign the book, I'll be glad to sign the book. But right now, guys, partner with me to get this out into as many hands. And 99 cents, it's almost free, right? And so get it out to as many people as you can. But more than anything else, commit to buying it yourself and to sharing it. But more than anything else, pray over it. I believe God has big things in that.
Wow. Now, I'm sure there's a great description on Amazon, and I'm not looking at it right now because I'm on the control panel, but is there a one line that if someone were to post on Facebook on behalf of this book, that they could just make a statement that will just like grab the world and pull them in to read this book? Like, what would that be, you think?
Oh, my goodness. That'd be hard for me to pull out, but I can tell you that it begins with life is like a pineapple upside down cake. And it is. And I hope that you'll appreciate when you read that story of how I paint a picture of how life is like that. And the bottom line is that all the sweetness starts first. It starts with the sweetness. Life starts with everything sweet. And so when you make a pineapple upside down cake, it all starts with the sweetest there is. And then it gets piled up with all kinds of other ingredients. But if you've ever baked one, you know that the real victory is when it's baked and it's strong enough to stand on its own, and you flip it over, and what do you see but crowns and jewels? And so I don't know what you take with that, but read something. I don't know where to begin to say what I would read or what I would say to inspire other people. I'm just pleading with all you friends to help me spread the message of hope. And this is what we got today. That is my gift to you today.
Wow. Well, that's it, spreading the message of hope. I mean, right there in that sentence. And I love the pineapple upside down cake visual. That's fantastic. I can't wait to read it. I'll be buying it in like 2 minutes.
Okay, awesome. If you guys, there are plenty of people I found that just don't know how to do that. Listen, there's no excuse for anything in life. If you've never read a Kindle book, you don't know how to get a Kindle book, you don't know anything about it, I know you know somebody else that does, okay? It's not complicated. You just might need some help in getting it. Don't wait for the paperback. That's coming. That's going to be something you'll want on your bookshelf, I guess. But in the meantime, help me spread the message of hope.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much, Lynn. You've been incredible today. And I don't know, I know Sam might be on in listening mode. He has a 10 o'clock appointment. Sam, if you want to say anything, if you're able to, go ahead. And if not, we're going to have everybody come on and thank Lynn for a great, phenomenal morning. Okay, yeah, I think Sam stepped into his appointment. Yeah. Lynn, I can't say enough amazing things. We're so appreciative, like, everybody on this call. We didn't even lose like more than one caller throughout this whole call, and that's kind of rare. So thank you for holding on and for giving us this message of hope, and I can't wait to post it on Facebook for you. And guys, please help Lynn in this mission. It's not her mission. This is the mission. This is like the mission, and this is what it's all about on this earth. So, Lynn, you're bringing tears to my eyes, and thank you so much. I can't wait to read your book, and I'm sure people on the line can't wait as well. Thank you, sweet friend.
You're such an encourager, and we appreciate all that you do for all of us day after day. Thank you for having me on.
Well, I want everybody to come on right now, and I'm going to open up the line, shout out, and give Lynn some love. And have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow on the path.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, Lynn.